We got South Sudan.
So stupid, man. He sitting there laughing, man.
Man, they probably ain't got nobody over 6'3".
Almost lost to some Africans. God damn, dog. We almost lost to the Ahi tribe. This is crazy. They don't even have shoes. They get their shoes from America. We got to ship them shoes. They had to use the shoes that we have extra leftover shoe. They use leftover shoes that the USA teams didn't want. Like, all right, y'all can use these.
I happen to follow basketball more than any other sport. As someone who moved from the UK to Africa, I never expected this game, dominated by black people, to create a situation of negativity towards Africans coming from black American professionals like Gilbert Arenas and Paul Pierce. In today's video, I'd like to talk about this negativity and how it speaks to a wider issue for black people as a whole. Africa is not generally what most people outside of the continent think. This basketball game is a representation of the overall trend that is happening in the continent, and I give this warning. Continue to underestimate Africa at your own peril. Yes, Africa has a lot of problems. Most do not have enough. But the landscape is changing and the continent is on the rise. Africa is currently positioned something like how America was positioned post-World War II, especially when it comes to demographics.
A lot of people think about Africa, they think safari, they think, oh, we have to donate $10 to people suffering. But you don't think about the rising population, the youthful population, the demographic, urbanization, cities becoming bigger. I want sports to grow. I want sports to be bigger because we have talent.
This is something I have mentioned several times before on this channel. Combine the degradation of the West and Africa's booming population with the growth of the digital landscape, accessible internet, smartphones, and a new breed of young leadership, and it begins to paint a picture of how Africa is really beginning to switch on and develop. The part of all of this that kills me is that I keep seeing a divide between black people around the world, whether it's with the Afro-Latino community, Black American community, or African community itself. If this division continues, it is a losing strategy for all. Regarding this basketball game, where South Sudan showed the world that they can compete at a high level, it exposes just how out of touch some Americans remain about the continent. Anything other than applauding the South Sudanese team, whose region is currently having a war that nobody really wants to talk about, is disrespectful in a way that would not be tolerated if the shoe was on the other foot. Instead, we hear how they have no shoes, that they have no courts or rims to practice on, that their team won't have anyone over 6'3" on the roster. I mean, it shows an incredible level of ignorance. Several players on the South Sudanese team have played basketball in US colleges, played G League ball and NBA ball.
Standing at an average height of 6'1", the Dinka tribe of South Sudan are credited as being the tallest people in the world. So you know that it was only a matter of time before they took over the NBA. First came Manute Bol, who grew up killing lions with spears. Bol's mother was 6'10". His grandfather was a whopping 7'10", and even 7'4" pro basketball player Ring Ayul grew up in his hometown of Tulare, Sudan. Of course, Bol's son, Bol is also ethnically Dinka, as is NBA star Luol Deng, as well as Thon Maker, Mariel Shayok, Wenyin Gabriel, and Ater Majak. The tribe is thousands of years old.
These professional athletes that come out of Africa are doing it against all odds. Not only that, they are often the ones going back to build grassroots sports infrastructure, so others coming up can have better opportunities. Black people as a whole should feel inspired and proud of these guys. I see someone like Francis Ngannou, who grew up working in sand mines as a child laborer, almost dying in his pursuit of professional fighting, becoming the UFC world champion, and then making millions of dollars by switching to boxing. I'd like to show you how Anthony Joshua spoke about him after defeating him in the ring.
Like I said, your inspiration. Thank you. Never forget that. You're an inspiration.
Africa has the most genetically diverse population on the planet. There are so many world-class genetically gifted potential athletes on the continent who never get the chance to be guided, mentored, and coached to greatness. Think about it. As Africa continues to develop, do you think that this is likely to remain the status quo? The trend is up, my friends. The part that saddens me the most is that if Gilbert Arenas talks like this and finds this funny, he's probably not alone. Sometimes it seems as if it's too much to ask for unity amongst blacks. Can we at least just stay neutral? What does it benefit if we divide ourselves? Especially considering other groups see blacks as one. While we are pulling each other down, the positive thing I see out of this situation is that many black Americans are pushing back against this attitude. There is some backlash, and so there should be. Gilbert and Paul Pierce both apologized for their comments around the game. However, Gilbert's apology came off more like professional damage control, rather than a genuine regret for disrespect shown to those Sudanese professionals, let alone Africans in general. This is why it's important for Americans to visit the continent for themselves, if possible, just like America would not want to be seen only through the lens of its opioid and fentanyl drug-infested homeless crisis. Neither does Africa deserve to be seen only through a poverty lens. Things are happening here, and the wealth of untapped potential on the continent is slowly emerging for the world to see. Moving here is not for everybody, but every black person on the planet should at least touch the soil and make a connection. Africa needs the knowledge and know-how from successful black people in the West. When this is combined with the ingenuity and talent on the continent, it would make a formidable group, the likes of which the world would have to pay attention to. This would not only be true for sports and entertainment, but in all arenas, from business to politics and beyond. Personally, I will be supporting South Sudan in the Paris Olympics, and my prediction is that they will finish in the medals. After all, they have just been given all the motivation they would ever need.
Thank you.